question that really pops up on how fast people get results. The issue with that is, first of all, it depends on your level of commitment. Second of all, it depends on how are we eating, and third of all, it depends on how often and your quality of training. And those factors combine together in order to deliver an outcome, which is, shifts in your physique, strength, yada, yada, yada. Usually it's within 6 to 8 weeks. I've had clients notice changes in strength in about 2 to 3 weeks. Usually that's because more neural adaptations. So the body actually starts sending messages to the muscles in the correct order, or start more efficient order. So therefore they can actually lift more. So it's basically the individual becomes more efficient, the load becomes lighter, so we can actually progress the individual a little bit more. But in terms of more the physical side, 6 to 8 weeks is kind of like the general window. The body doesn't like to make major changes to itself, so those changes can actually be quite slow. So best way, if you really want to kind of track what you're doing, is scales. Not the best unless your goal is actual weight loss. Probably the best way is taking photos, also taking measurements. I'd suggest seeing someone to actually help you take measurements who's a qualified strength coach. Usually they've done measurements on other people as well. So it's consistent from pre to post. The third one you can do is just, how do your clothes feel? Do they feel looser around your gut? Do they feel tighter around your shoulders, tighter around your chest? Your pants feel tighter? You have to go up a size, down a size. These are arbitrary measurements that you can use to gauge whether or not your program is working for you. Another way you can actually measure the progress is do like it's called a BIA, a bioelectrical impedance. And basically it's electrodes in the hands and feet, and they send a current through the body, and they basically can say how much body fat you got in certain areas, skeletal muscle mass, and some other metrics as well. So there's many ways you can go about that.
And then, so I feel like two sort of the myths that you hear around gyms are, number one, that at the beginning of training is usually where you see the most change. So in that first phase of your gym program is where you see the most extreme change. And then the other myth is that whole sort of percentage split of training, eating, and sleeping and their importance. And you hear people throwing out, 80% of it, 70% of it is what you eat, 20% of it is your sleep, and 10% of it is your actual training in regards to seeing results and how quickly they come about. What do you think about those?
And it's just 100% consistency.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty much simple. You want to make sure, my philosophy is make sure you get everything in line. So you get your sleep sorted out, stress levels sorted out, get your nutrition sorted out, get your training sorted out. The main thing is, though, tackle these things one at a time. So from a realistic standpoint, you always want to go for the low hanging fruit. What is the thing that you can change immediately or within the next couple of days? And the majority of people is just scheduling training. People don't want to change their food just yet because they're kind of comfortable with it. They kind of want to experience what's training like. Then they start getting a little bit of results. Cool. Then they want more. So then, once we've got one thing under their control, then we change their nutrition. So we make minor modifications to the nutrition. Might be 2 or 3 things. Really simple. It might be simply as eating more protein, drinking more water. Then more changes start to occur. Then you got this nice build momentum, and you got this adherence to the program, and they're making progress. Then you continue to build on those factors. I feel if you try and change so many things at once, it's basically a recipe for disaster, because they've got to mentally focus on so many things at once. We as human beings like to focus on 1 to 2 things at one time. So that's why my philosophy is get everything in line bit by bit, and the process will start to fall in your favor. Then it becomes a part of your lifestyle. It's not something you have to force or you tell yourself. It's like, oh, I've got to eat this just because it becomes something that you really want to do.
Yeah, which again, it comes back to then again, with those fitness magazines, the 10-day stuff, that's why it's so frustrating to look at, because you know that way that we're talking about is the easiest, healthiest, most sustainable way of progressing, but still people are buying into this 10-day thing, thinking that it's, actually, no, this is the easy way to do it, when really it ends up being super difficult because you're putting so much stress on your body and so much stress on your lifestyle. And then you come out of it worse off because you're even more drained than you were before hitting the program. And it just,
Someone mentioned, it's like, what after the 10 days? What happens on the 11th day? You go back to normal?
Yeah, exactly. Because you can't keep that up, whatever you just got.
And the problem is though, is that if you go on a crash diet for 10 days, 12 days, however long, eventually if you go back to the normal way, you actually gain it. Then you actually gain then some. You actually become more of an overcompensation because your body doesn't want to go through that again.
Yeah.
So what does it do? It overcompensates. So this is why you want to slowly get things in line, picking it off one at a time, and not making huge drastic choices. Obviously, don't make life decisions based on it, but you want to do the things that you can do. So for most people, it's just join the gym, do 2 classes a week. Start with that, boom, perfect. Once you got that under control, you may want to get a little bit more. So you might get a trainer or jump in a small group training class or something like that. And then from there, you're starting to notice some changes. Your fitness is starting to improve. You're not out of breath climbing those 4 flights of stairs. Then you can actually start to be able to wow, I'm feeling fucking good. Now we can actually start to move forward with this. So it's basically, it's not so much the physical things, but it's more the psychological things of building momentum with a lot of people. And that's what I feel like has been really successful with a lot of my clients is you build the momentum with them. Yeah. And they're just like, oh, it's not that difficult. It's like, this is really basic. I can make these modifications. And it becomes that accountability side. Yeah. They become accountable for themselves. They're not relying on me because I'm not going to be there for the rest of their life.
Yeah. Yeah, you're almost making it as comfortable as possible for them in the process. Yeah. Because otherwise, like you said, you're kind of treating your body like a new puppy, and every time you do those 10-day challenge, you're punishing the puppy, and then obviously the puppy's not gonna want to do it again because it knows every time he does that 10 day.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's like the biggest thing is like I'm more and more about this than ever. It's like be compassionate to yourself. Yeah. Look after yourself, and everything will start to fall. Like there's been a magnitude of effects. If you look after yourself, you'll be able to look after other people.
Yeah. Self-awareness is a big thing, I feel like, and lifting, surprisingly.